So, first and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on Hurricane Melissa that plowed in across Jamaica and now is heading towards Cuba. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, here's what's happening now. Melissa is now centered off the northern coast of Jamaica after barreling ashore as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history. Melissa is still a powerful Category 3 hurricane as it heads towards Cuba. So we're already seeing reports of extensive damage to homes, hospitals, and schools in southwestern Jamaica. Earlier, Prime Minister Andrew Holness told CNN the storm will cause catastrophic damage. Said Melissa is responsible for 7 deaths, 3 in Jamaica during storm preparations, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic. Says Melissa's eye has become noticeably clearer on satellite this evening. That's a bad sign. A better defined eye usually means a hurricane's inner core is reorganizing or strengthening. Even as Melissa closes in on eastern Cuba, it appears to be tightening back up, which could help it maintain its Category 3 power or even intensify to Category 4, as the National Hurricane Center predicts before landfall. Said Melissa doesn't have much time left over open water, but the water beneath it is extremely warm, the same fuel that's driven its bursts of rapid intensification this week. So that's a serious concern for parts of eastern Cuba in the storm's path. A more stable, symmetrical eye means stronger winds near the center, higher surge along the southeast coast, and heavier rainfall concentrated around the eye wall. Says Melissa's winds are fierce, but it's the water threat that is now taking center stage as the major hurricane barrels toward eastern Cuba. Melissa is expected to unload 10 to 20 inches of rain across eastern Cuba, with isolated amounts near 25 inches over the mountains. That much water over steep terrain will trigger life-threatening flash floods and landslides, especially overnight as the core moves inland. The southeast coast faces an even more immediate danger. Storm surge up to 12 feet above normal tide levels, with large destructive waves crashing ashore. That kind of surge can push seawater well inland and inundate coastal towns from Santiago de Cuba to Guantanamo. Cuba is no stranger to hurricanes, having experienced 10 major hurricanes, meaning a Category 3 or greater in the last 25 years. However, the combination of torrential rain, surge, and pounding surf will make Melissa a particularly dangerous triple threat. Even if the winds ease a bit after landfall, the water threat will only grow. Hey, the Lord is turning it up, just like the men of the Lord said he would. Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and these are primarily Israelite occupied places. And the Lord is hitting them hard because the Lord is judging his people. The Lord is judging the wicked of his people. He's judging these 2/3. See, the Lord, he's doing some house cleaning first, and then he's going to move on to these heathens. Hebrews 10:30. For we know him that have said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people. That's why Haiti, Jamaica, and Cuba are getting hit with this hurricane. And I believe it's the Dominican Republic as well. because those are mostly Israelites that live there. Some from the southern kingdom and some from the northern kingdom. See, the Lord, he's judging his people, though. He's paying the wicked of his people a visit first. And then he's going to continue to hit these heathen nations, these other nations, with judgments. But see, these Israelites who live on these islands, yeah, they getting hit with this hurricane right now. They either getting hit with tropical storms or they getting hit with hurricanes. And that's how the Lord judges them for being wicked. Psalm 7 and 11, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And that's why every day judgment passes. Hurricanes, tornadoes, tropical storms, hailstorms, shootings, stabbings, fires, earthquakes, car crashes, plane crashes, people committing suicide, animal attacks, people drowning, people dying in fires. Every day the Lord brings his judgments upon these wicked people with whom he is angry with. And right now, he's visiting Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, with this Hurricane Melissa, bringing a lot of destruction and death to those people. Psalms 9:16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegeon Selah. And that's right. And one thing about 2/3 of our people, the Israelites, primarily so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they don't take anything seriously. Everything is a damn joke to them until the Lord starts pouring out his wrath. Then they want to get serious, but at that point, it's already too late. Now you done pissed off the Lord. You done provoked him unto wrath, and you got to receive those sore strokes. And that's what we see happening with this hurricane. Those wicked Israelites are receiving sore strokes for angering the Lord. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And right now, the Lord is unleashing a lot of storms and tempests, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of lightning, a lot of flash floods. Certain places are experiencing hailstorms. The Lord, he ain't messing around. A lot of hurricanes, a lot of tornadoes. Isaiah 28:2, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And the Lord is definitely sending a destroying storm upon these islands. And there's a lot of flash flooding that happens when hurricanes hit. Homes get destroyed, people get swept away. It's a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos, a lot of destruction, a lot of death, a lot of mourning and weeping going on. Psalms 11:6, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it means a violent windy storm, particularly hurricanes or tornadoes. And we see what the Lord is doing right now with Hurricane Melissa. You see, there is no getting around these scriptures. Everyone who thinks that the scriptures are a fairy tale book and that they're just made up, everything written in these scriptures is happening. Right now, it's in particular these storms and tempests and earthquakes and fires that we see popping off basically every day. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that is exactly what the Heavenly Father is doing, bringing judgment upon these different islands via his storms and tempests. As I said, places like Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, these are places that the Lord brings hurricanes and tropical storms upon quite often because of their wickedness. And like I said, these places are primarily Israelite areas, these Israelite countries. Or, whatever. Or just islands, rather, Salakia. These these primarily Israelite inhabited islands. They're getting hit because of their wickedness. And there's men of the Lord in these different places. There's men of the Lord in Jamaica and in Cuba and in Hawaii and in Puerto Rico, and but hey, 2/3 are gonna be 2/3, and they're not gonna listen, and they gotta get punished for that, for not heeding the righteous warnings from the men of the Lord. James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. And that is exactly what the Lord is doing to these wicked Israelites. He's afflicting them by sending hurricanes upon them, causing destruction, killing their family members, destroying their home. All that laughing and all that joking around and all that not taking anything seriously has now turned into them mourning and weeping and being full of heaviness. It's not funny anymore. It's all fun and games until the Lord unleashes some judgment upon you. And that's what they're experiencing right now, and that's what they're going to continue to experience until the kingdom of heaven gets established and the Lord puts these wicked 2/3 in their rightful mind, and they're not out here being wicked anymore. But until that happens, these 2/3, they're going to keep being wicked, and the Lord is going to keep pouring out his wrath upon them. Because at the end of the day, we all reap what we sow. You anger the Heavenly Father, he might just unleash a hurricane upon you. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to other brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to other sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.